Did you know that in August 2012, the California State Assembly approved SB 1172, prohibiting mental health providers from engaging in sexual orientation change efforts, such as conversion therapy, with LGBTQ minors? Conversion therapist David Pickup, who was also the spokesperson for the National Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality, challenged the constitutionality of the bill. The Ninth Circuit granted an injunction. However, eventually, the Ninth Circuit held that conversion therapy was a form of professional conduct, not speech. On May 27, 2016, California Governor Jerry Brown signed Senate Bill 1408 into law. The law protects organ donation and transplantation between HIV positive people in the state of California. The law also protects surgeons who transplant organs from HIV positive donors into HIV positive patients from liability and from being penalized by the California Medical Board. In February 2021, San Francisco repealed a 35-year-old law. It was during the time of the HIV/AIDS crisis that banned bathhouses. In 2014, California became the first state in the U.S. to officially ban the use of gay panic and transgender panic defenses in murder trials. Now, these defenses are legal defenses against assault and unalivings, where a defendant is seeking an acquittal, trying to mitigate sentencing or obtain a conviction of a lesser offense by claiming that they found the same sex sexual advances to be so offensive or frightening that they were provoked into reacting, were acting in self-defense, were of diminished capacity, or were temporarily insane. Also, in 2014, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that gay men can't be legally excluded from juries. Now, this came about from a court case from a pharmaceutical company treating HIV, and they didn't want a gay man due to being a conflict of interest. Since January 2019, law enforcement in California has been legally required to undergo mandatory sensitivity training on LGBTQ issues, a first in the United States. September 2021, the California legislature passed a bill to implement structural reforms as well as legally banning bias within police and law enforcement on the basis of both sexual orientation and gender identity. In July 2021, the California Court of Appeals made a ruling that banning certain gender pronouns within California aged care homes was, in fact, a violation of free speech. September 2022, the governor signed into law a bill that passed the California legislature to automatically correct military records so the queer individuals who served as veterans can now legally access military benefits. New York State, Rhode Island, and Connecticut have similar laws. Also, in 2022, California became the second U.S. state to collect sexual orientation and gender identity data and statistics on COVID-19 impacts, immediately after Pennsylvania. Since January 1st, 2022, all boards and companies within California are legally required to have implemented minority quotas of members such as Native Americans, African American, women, immigrants, Hispanic or Latino, LGBTQIA plus individuals, etc., 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 marginalized communities. And in July 2024, a newly implemented law went into effect, a first for the United States, which explicitly bans the outing of LGBTQ individuals within public schools.